Today on Grow Up, Level Up Sunset Selects, we're reviewing what might be my favorite game of the year so far. We're reviewing Consume Me, played by me. So get ready to hear me yap about this game that I love. Roll the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Grow Up, Level Up Sunset Selects, the weekly show, sometimes 2 times a week, where we talk about the fun and games and TV shows and movies that you should be spending in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. My name is Samson, aka Samson XP on the interwebs, and today I am joined by fellow consumer, I guess, Sir Dr. JM, aka Jordan. What's up, Jordan?
Not much. I have definitely been described as that before, so it's a title I will wear proudly. Consumer.
Yeah, this is a game that, well, first of all, Consume Me is not about consuming, kind of. It is, but not in that sense. But it's a game that I've been looking forward to a long time, and thanks to our friends at Pop Agenda, and thank you to the dev team, Jenny and AP Thompson. Thank you for the early review copy of the game. I got to play it, and I'm going to review it. One of our not rare game reviews here on Sunset Selects. Before we dive into the review, just based on the title, Jordan, what do you think Consume Me is about?
Oh, well, I have to admit, when you told me about this game, like you kind of said, hey, I reached out and got a code and everything. My initial reaction was, I know I've heard of this game, but I don't picture anything. So I really had no clue. And then just before we started recording here, I did a quick Google search just because I wanted to get my ambient lighting set up to sort of match the theme. And so I chose a nice red light here. You can kind of see the glow on my hand more than on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I chose red because the image that comes up is kind of this orangey red. It reminds me of a chocolate bar, honestly.
Okay.
And I think it's the logo. It says Consume Me. And the interesting thing about that is that I saw that and I thought, you know what? Maybe I have never even seen this game before. So I'm excited to get into it with you today and learn more about it.
Very well. How this episode is going to work is we're going to flip the tables a little bit. Usually I'm the one running the show, hosting the show, but since Jordan is the curious onlooker in, he will be the one asking me questions. Maybe by the end of the episode, maybe I can convince Jordan to check out Consume Me, which, spoiler alert, I think might be an all-timer for myself. All-timer being best games I've played of all time. So let us switch seats. Jordan, get up and I'm joking. We're too far for that. We're too far.
Wouldn't that be funny if we revealed
crazy.
that we're actually just sitting across the table from each other this whole time?
That'd be crazy. Yeah, we walk into each other's cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
If we had a bigger budget and maybe more time, maybe we could pull that off.
I reach over and all of a sudden my hand goes through.
Yeah, that'd be, you know, technology is almost there. We're not that far as well. Anyways, we switched our seats. Jordan, I put you in the hosting chair.
Yes, you did put me in the hosting chair indeed. So I think the most obvious and best place to start here, I think would probably be why don't you just tell us? Let's pull the it's a phrase, pull the cover off, pull the ripcord. I don't know. Pull the curtain back. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. I forgot what the English word for it was. Pull the curtain back. What score would you give Consume Me, and why? And then, in a couple sentences, sum it up for us.
Sounds good. Drum roll, please. Hold on, I got a drum roll here. If I may, I'm giving Consume Me a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Video game.
Okay.
Samson 10 out of 10. Samson 10 craft beers out of 10.
Okay.
10 blind boxes out of 10. 10.
Oh.
I don't know. What else do I enjoy here? 10 water bottles out of 10. I actually do really like my water bottles. So.
Okay.
So I'm giving this game a 10 out of 10 because it oozes style. It's so me. It is so like my story. Like it's one of those times that you see yourself represented in a piece of art.
Okay.
And it's like, as someone, and it's gonna get this episode's gonna get personal, Jordan. But like,
All right. I like
there's
this.
there's lots of times growing up where it's like, oh yeah, I empathize with that, I resonate with that. But there's rarely a time where it's like 99%, well, maybe not 99, 90%, like, wow, this was almost my life. And I'm finding little
Okay.
trinkets throughout the game that is like me, just other than story. It's a style of game I really like. It's an art style I really like. And as I yap, I'm just gonna start playing the trailer.
I was I was gonna say, while you're going there, I mean, you're pulling up the trailer, obviously, so that's gonna give us some hints here. But for
Yeah.
the audio listeners, what is the play style? Because I mean, even looking at this, I'm a little bit like I have no idea what's happening here.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't we get into it? So, if I could sum it up into like one sentence, Umi is a life sim RPG.
Okay.
You role play as this character named Jenny, who is actually based on the developer Jenny. Oh, what Jenny? Let me get this right. Let me get the name right. Please stall for me.
I can stall for you.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. So the main character you play is Jenny. The sorry, Jenny Jiaohia. Jenny Jiaoxia. She is a game developer from New York, and this game is pretty
Okay.
much based on her life. It's co-developed by AP Thompson and then a really big team as well. Their development group is called Hexecutable, based in Brooklyn, New York. You
Okay.
play as Jenny, and you pretty much go through phases of her life. Those like late adolescent into young adult years of your life. And I don't want to
Uh-huh.
get too spoilery into what exactly happens in it because there were lots of surprises that had me laughing.
Okay.
Um, but but each phase of the game, each part of the life that you play through is you making choices throughout the day to make sure that you can achieve certain goals by the end of the week. These goals could be something like staying under your calorie, um,
Okay.
or in the game calls it your bite limit because you're trying to lose
Mm.
weight.
Uh-huh.
Could be putting in the work at school to get a good grade. Could be putting in the work with another partner to maintain your relationship. Um,
Mm.
and just like real life, you only have a certain amount of hours in a
Uh,
day. So you have
Uh-huh.
to pick and choose how you want to use those hours to make your goals. Each task you do is also like almost like a WarioWare like mini
Okay.
game.
Okay,
That's
that's
only
making
about like,
sense with what I'm seeing.
yeah, yeah. The all the little vignettes you're seeing are like the mini games that you play. So when you fold clothes, you like play like this 15-second
Mhm.
mini game. When you read or study, you have to play this game where you're trying to maintain focus on your book while your character's head spins around and looks at other stuff, just like real life, just like real life. So I so like that is the game. You go through different stages of Jenny's life, starting from like your late high school all the way to your university and beyond.
Okay.
Now, the cool thing is that I'm pretty sure with the way the timing works and all that, like Jenny and I are the same age. So when they were
Okay.
bringing up really specific like years and as well as like yeah, like the years that are in the game, it's like, oh, this was literally me in this moment. I am this
Okay.
character.
That's
um
cool.
and let me see if I can pull up this screenshot. The other thing is that this game, I didn't know this going in, but Jenny is Chinese, which you can kind of tell by the last name.
Uh-huh.
So there was a bit of like Mandarin in the beginning, like
Okay.
written in an English style, like pinyin style, and that kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, okay, there's some cultural relevance for me here,
Mhm. Now
which also got me to buy in a lot faster as well. So, taking a step back, this whole game is pretty much a life sim. You go day by day, week by week, trying to achieve all of Jenny's goals, and just go through life, right? Like be that kid, be that young adult, trying to maintain all these relationships, get good grades in school, impress the parents, um, build relationships. Like this is pretty. In a fun way. It is like your life growing up,
okay.
and that made it very very fun for me because I really do like it when there is some commentary to things that are relatable. Like, like Superman is pretty cool, but I'm not going to relate to, like,
No?
I'm not going to relate to being a flying alien that can punch and shoot lasers out my
Speak for
eyes.
yourself.
You're right, Schuster, the
That's right.
Schuster
That's
lore.
right.
But like an Asian girl living in the city, going to school, having a boyfriend,
Growing
girlfriend.
up in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, this is like where there's two sets of footpaths in the sand, and they're the same, or that's how that story goes, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So because of all that, I'm giving this game a 10 out of 10. And one more thing about the art style, it's like very Scott Pilgrim-y, especially in some parts of the game where it like cuts really fast and it does like this comic book looking style thing. I'm like, oh, you're earning extra points from me here, Jenny. Like you're killing it.
Right. Where did you play this?
uh,
Steam or?
yeah, I got a Steam code. I played it on Steam, and I beat the game. One more thing I forgot to mention: game has multiple endings, right? Depending
Oh,
on
okay.
how well you
That's
do and
interesting.
and how well you meet your goals and stuff. I'm pretty sure the game will feed you a different ending depending on how you do. So I
Okay.
got a certain ending.
Were you happy with your ending?
I think I was happy with my ending. I
Okay.
think the
Okay.
ending I got was like, yeah, this like, and it's weird because I don't know if I got the good ending, but because the ending I got was like it
Good
had like
enough.
a very good message,
Right. Okay.
that kind of wrapped it out nicely. So I think I got the good ending, but it took me 5.5 hours on the dot to
Okay.
beat this
That's
game. Yeah, and
honestly that's longer than I expected.
oh,
I
okay.
mean, last week, of course, we came off Henry Halfhead, and I think you said that was 2, maybe 3 hours long. 3 is probably stretching it. Um, and a little bit surprising. Just, I mean, obviously, don't judge a book by its cover, but I see this art style, and I hear you describing, these WarioWare kind of mini games. I was expecting this to be a similar length as Henry Halfhead was, but seems like this one is a little bit longer, but kind of almost in the same vein with, the touching on a sort of relatable message in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like it had something to say, which is
Yeah, yeah.
nice. My thought on the length was I feel like this was just the right amount.
Okay,
I pretty much played through this game in about 3 nights, 3 sessions. I actually finished it this morning before I started work over my morning coffee.
that's
Um,
wild. I don't
so
play games before, I don't know, 9
it's
p.m.
a new thing I'm trying,
Yeah.
So on the side, I remember watching this YouTube video years ago where it's like where it was about why you can't play games after work, and this was a time
Oh,
when my
okay.
work job was like a lot more physically demanding, so I'm like, oh, I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
so tired. And
Yeah.
then one suggestion was wake up earlier and play games like during morning coffee, and I'm like, okay, maybe.
I think, okay, we're getting off track here, but I think the only time I have ever done that is in the thick of my World of Warcraft days, getting up before
Wow.
school, getting up at like 5 a.m. to play WoW, to grind out a few levels or run a dungeon with someone, for trying to squeeze it in before
Yeah,
leaving to catch the bus, that kind of thing. But anyways,
that's wild.
back to Consumi.
Yeah, I think it was the right amount. I think
Okay.
because the game also, jumping ahead a little bit, does get kind of hard.
Heavy? Okay. Oh,
Not
hard.
not too heavy. The game
Okay.
has a very lighthearted thing to it. The themes definitely can lean to the heavy side, but the
Mhm.
game actually got kind of hard
Okay.
near the end, and that was just a reflection of life. How do you balance all this
Sure.
stuff
Makes
in
sense.
your days? And
Does
like
get harder as we go on.
as like I do want to revisit the game, which is rare for
Hmm.
me because I want to see like is there actually a way with all the resources I have to to what's the word, like maximize
Yeah.
or min max,
To min
like,
max your life.
yeah, because I'm curious if the game is balanced in a way that you could do like that, and it's like the first time you go through it you just wouldn't know because you don't know what to
Right.
plan
You're
for.
learning the systems and
So
okay.
that's definitely, there's some replayability there, especially with the extra endings.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I played it on Steam. This was a game that I felt would also work really well. I don't have my Steam Deck anymore. On like a Switch or a handheld.
Mm.
Because it does play very much like a comic book, and the controls aren't well, we'll get into it later. They aren't like Silk Song, twitchy, but there is a lot of like
Right.
quick time events and
Well, I mean,
WarioWare kind of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, with the WarioWare description, I mean, WarioWare was big on Game Boy originally, but also like DS and everything like that. So that makes
Mm-hmm,
sense. I could see it for sure.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So I really like the game in that way. It's like very a little ADHD,
Hmm.
like little something every day. So I'll go into a little bit more about how the game works. Um, you have a day, for example, you have a day, and then you only have like say 2 hours a day. In those 2 hours, you can pretty much do whatever you want, but you have these goals that you have to hit by the end of the week. At the beginning of the game, I think this game started off as like commentary on um, not eating disordered, but like watching your body weight, body image. Like it started off as that, and that's where the game kind of begins you at as well.
I saw a lot of
Uh,
that in the trailer there. Seemed
mhm.
like some I don't want to say trauma, but some, imposed, let's call it trauma, from, parental figures and things like that,
Yeah, which is very
which
real
is
for
relatable for sure for
yeah.
most people, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, and like not just Chinese American cultures for
Yeah.
girls, but like every culture, every gender probably has some version of this.
Hmm.
So the game starts off with that theme, um, and and you do a mini game where you have to like fit a some food into this grid, and the grid you have to fit it into certain sections of the grid because
Right. I
that
think that was
will
in the trailer. Hey,
yeah that will subsidiate substantiate what do you call it'll fend off your hunger
sustain you.
sustain yeah so that's what a game always kind of starts off is like a meal. So what kind of meal? Actually, no.
Heal.
It starts off with the outfit, but then
Oh,
it
okay.
starts you off with the meal.
Right.
And then depending on the outfit you choose, the meal you eat, it will fill up certain bars, and those are your
Okay.
resources. One of the bars is like your mood, like
Okay.
how I guess your mental health, how good are you feeling. Next one's your energy, the actual energy you have in a day. The last one is like your guts, which is it's it's like your hunger satisfaction,
Okay.
and also kind of like your confidence and
Right.
your I guess your like how you feel in your body in the moment.
Hmm.
It's a kind of weird one. um, but you basically get those three resources to work with, and then depending on what you do in the day, it'll use different resources. Certain things will increase it, certain things will decrease it. Later, there will be like random events that will influence it, whether it's buff or minus, all while maintaining your more or less calorie deficit. In the game, they don't
Mm.
call it calories; they call it bites. So throughout the game, you're also trying to stay under that. So you have to find time to exercise if you ate too big of a lunch, but you had to eat a bigger lunch because you had to
You had to
have more
energize.
energy,
Yeah.
and you have to have more energy because you're going to stay up late to study. So it was a constant balance of that, and I found that like very interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was honestly very engaging because it was a resource game.
Yeah.
Um, if I may, I could even call it a card game where you have certain cards that you
Ah,
have to play
of
and certain
course.
resources to work around with.
Was there
Mhm.
along those same lines? And I mean, if you want to describe a little more, feel free. But I was going to say, was there any sort of moment that stood out to you, or
Yeah, yeah, I would say there
I
was
don't know if you want to go spoilers or spoiler full or spoiler free, but
there.
I imagine
I
it's
know
hard to
it's a
talk
little
about without
tricky,
spoiling.
right? It's a little tricky, but I'll talk about one mechanic that I thought was quite interesting that I liked. It
Hmm.
was a loop that came up a couple times, and it's not too
Okay.
spoilery. You get this at the beginning. So during your free time, you have like two times in a day that you can use to do things,
Hmm.
but you can extend those times by picking stay up late, and you
Hmm.
can stay up late like 3 or 4 times. Um,
Oh, of
when you stay up late, though, that takes down your energy,
course.
um, and it might affect your mood as well.
Mm.
Once you run out of once your energy is too low, the game will say like you can't stay up late. You don't have energy. So how do
Mm-hmm.
you get more energy? You have a
You
midnight
sleep.
snack. No,
Oh,
you have
okay.
a midnight snack. Then you have a midnight snack, and then
Right.
now your calories or sorry your bites are too high. Now, when you take
Oh no.
into consideration staying up late, is like, and I have to eat this bag of chips, this energy drink. Can I also fit in a slot of exercise? And which
Mm.
exercise should I do? There's certain clothes that make your exercises not cost any time. So there's a lot of like that planning ahead in a day.
It's really resource management. It sounds like this is
It is,
wild.
it is. It's resource management, but in like a like cuter for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not too complicated because um of two reasons. I think one, it's like your resources are very clear. It shows you like how much things cost and all that all the time, and it doesn't punish you that hard. And the other thing is, it's one to one with real life, is it not? Like, this is how it works. If you are
yeah,
an adult that has gone through this,
yeah,
if you stay up late, you have to have an energy drink.
yeah.
Then you had energy drink, dang, then now it's like, it was too sugary, right?
We're
Not, yeah,
we're recording late tonight, and I'm having a Coke because of it.
yeah, I have another beverage that comes up later. And then that, like, it makes sense in real life. So it kind of, honestly, that thought helped me figure out what I want to do later in the game as well. There's
Okay.
later in the game where you're like, I have 3 days left. That means I only have this amount of time. It's like, on this day, I can eat more so I can stay up late. Then the next day, I'll have to eat less to stay under like the calorie thing throughout the week.
Mm.
Or sorry, the bites thing throughout the week. So I thought that worked really well for me. And I know that might turn off some folks. Is like, oh, I don't want to play a game about things that I'm already doing in real life. And to that, I say it's because of the story. And the story
hmm
is, well, it's also just like real life, but it's presented in a way that is so like,
Yeah,
so fun, so relatable. And for me, I don't know, like, grow up, level up. This whole podcast came to be because I like talking about how people grow up. The entire game is about growing up. So I thought that this was
fair
very
enough.
engaging for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on. That's that's awesome. I mean, honestly, watching the trailer and everything, how much can you really get from my, whatever sub 2 minute trailer and everything? But it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more sort of going on with it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, again, the trailer doesn't look simple. Obviously, there's a ton going on, but I'm impressed with the systems that it sounds like you're juggling and everything. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I will say one thing about the systems and the gameplay before we dive into the themes and the story. Um, like, one thing that my wife said watching me play the game was like, "Oh, it looks kind of repetitive, right? Because you do
okay,
exercises. All
right,
the exercises are actually the same mini game.
okay,
You do your readings, and and it's a
mm,
reading mini game. Like,
hmm
folding your clothes is the folding clothes mini game. And yeah, I can see that being like repetitive because it's like, well, I got to read, I got to play the same game over again. Um, and I kind of got around that in my head as one.
Well, you do
They're
that
like,
stuff every day. Some of it.
exactly, right? Like, in real
It's
life,
the
we're
point.
also doing the same thing every day. And the
Yeah.
other thing is they're like 15 seconds long. Well, once you
Mm,
do it,
hmm
then
Right.
it's like done and you move on to the next thing. At the same time, you also have to do it well. Like there is a skill check there for you to like, that also can affect your mood, that can affect how much money you make. I didn't even talk about that. How much exercise you get with your dog. There's like a cute dog
Oh,
that
there's a
keeps
dog?
popping up throughout the game. Yeah, as a
Okay.
Pomeranian. I forgot his name though, my bad.
Oh, no. Can
Yeah.
you pet the Pomeranian at some point?
uh yeah, actually,
Okay, good. Is there a
there's
petting the dog mini game?
yeah, I would say there is. Each day is structured like, you wake up, you pick your outfit, and then you eat, and then I think there's like a random encounter. It's kind of
Oh,
roguelitey
okay.
that way. There's a random
Right.
encounter. One of them is pet the dog, and then begins your
Nice.
free time and whatever
Nice.
story event happens after that. Yeah.
A little bit. How old do you think the character is when you start off?
I would say
Is it
the
kind of
age that I was
ambiguous,
in the same.
teenish, or
No, they were pretty clear. They were like, I'm going
okay?
into my junior year, which is grade
Oh, okay.
11. So
Yeah,
16,
yeah.
17. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's kind of what I figured, just because of the themes we're talking about and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just wanted to be sure. So
Mm-hmm.
cool. Well, do you want to talk about some of the themes and things like that? I have sort of some more specific things that I could throw your way, because I am curious about how deep it gets.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the overall theme, if I had to put it into one sentence,
Mm-hmm.
is like a modern story about growing up, not in the teenager years, not in the adult years, but like someone who is exiting school and entering young adulthood, and navigating those themes about culture and self-image. Self-image, I guess, would be the biggest one, because
Right.
there's literally many points in the game where you talk to your reflection,
Oh,
and
okay.
then that's your like
Pump
that's
yourself
your
up.
self-talk, yeah.
Right.
So I would say like self-image is the biggest one
Okay.
in this game.
And does this game get so deep then that you find yourself reflecting on your own self-image, your own self-worth, your own success, and things like that?
um I think so. I think it's hard not to do that when you
Yeah,
play a game like this, where it's
of
all about
course.
it. Like obviously, I said at the beginning of the show, like Jenny and I'm pretty sure are the same age. Cannot confirm. And then like, and so it was like there's a lot of where was I in this year? Where was
Right.
I in this
Right.
year? Um, did I still live at home with my parents in this year? Did I do all that in this year? And like, there are a couple times where it's like we shared. Well, I don't know if the exact thing, but there were like lots of milestones that I also kind of touched on as well, or that I
Mm-hmm.
kind of latched on as well. And even if I didn't, I see it with a lot of other folks that are going through
Okay.
that at that age. Um,
Right.
so one of them, I don't know if I want to talk about this because it is a little
Too
spoilery,
spoilery? Yeah.
but I do think this was the high of the game, like the highlight of the game for me. Um,
Okay.
so, yeah, I think I'll talk about it if you're not convinced
I'm
already. Yeah.
I'm okay with spoilers.
Okay. Okay. Because really,
For the audience, jump ahead. What do you think? How long do you think they should jump ahead if they don't want to hear the spoiler?
maybe jump ahead like 5 minutes, so
Okay.
31. But it's also not too big of spoilers. It's not like
Okay. Okay.
a Godzilla shows up halfway through the game or something, and then you become a superhero. It's revealed you're like an alien superhero or something. It's nothing like that. Uh,
Well, before you dive into that, I just want to say, and then we go spoilers. Um, I'm looking at Jenny on Instagram. I was hoping I would find like a happy birthday post so I could figure out how old she is. Um, I can confirm she does definitely own Pomeranians. So, anyways, go on.
just like the game.
That's right.
So I don't know about you, Jordan, but there's one point in a lot of young people's lives where they find religion,
Mm.
specifically like Christianity.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and they touch on that in this game, which
Okay.
I am very surprised given the state of the nation and all
Right.
that. I'm surprised, but also not surprised that
Okay.
they would do something like that in this game.
Right.
So like, growing up, I don't know if you know this about you, Jordan,
I probably don't. We've
being
never, I
very
don't know that we've really talked about religion. So,
on the podcast.
yeah.
But I grew up in the church, in a Christian church.
Oh,
And then like, yeah, like growing up from adolescence to like young adulthood, I was very involved in a lot of supporting people, in and out, all that kind of stuff. And then, but as I got into young adulthood, I kind of started falling away. Like it didn't become my number one thing, which is like,
pretty
I think a lot of
normal, I
people go
think.
through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, I see that in a lot of like my peers or my cohort, lots of
Hmm.
people going back to the church,
Mm.
or finding like Jesus, whatever, for the first time. And spoilers for the game, you have been warned that if if you did already leave. There's one point in the game where Jenny gets invited to a church and she goes, and then
Uh,
it was a positive experience. And
okay.
side note, the sequence in this had my
Hmm.
sides laughing because it was like a very spiritual
Hmm.
sequence, and they were singing like a worship song, but it was
Okay.
almost like a parody of a worship
Oh,
song,
okay. Nice.
because they the one line was like in a lot of Christian, secular Christian music, it's like, oh, you came over me like a wave and washed my sin away, kind of thing. This one was like, you're an eagle and you caught me as a mouse and brought me home. And I'm like, I don't know if that's No, that's what eagles do. So this one had me like laughing a lot. And it
good.
like kept repeating. But from that, you actually get this like new mechanic called prey.
Oh,
Like not prey as the mouse, like
oh, yeah, I got that.
talking
Don't worry.
talking to Jesus. And then
Yeah,
you unlock that and
talking
it's like,
to Jesus.
yeah. Well, and the game also does it very lightly. It's like,
Right.
I'm gonna pray. And then you do that, and she whips out her phone and starts texting JC. And then JC like says some Jesus-y things, and then it actually like boosts your mood and gets rid
Right.
of your mental blocks
That's
and
funny.
gives you energy back. So I thought that was a very clever way of incorporating spirituality
Mhm.
as a mechanic,
Yeah.
because it is something a lot of young adults go through and find peace in.
Right.
So huge applause for that.
That's funny.
Like I know like talking about this stuff in any kind of art is really tricky and
Yeah.
like not just a respectful way, but you never know what kind of backlash you might get. So I thought that was the 10 out of 10. That was the highlight of the game for me. And it really did help because there were lots of parts, especially later in the game, where it gets hard. And then I'm like, I'm running out of energy drinks here.
Damn
What
it,
do
I
I
gotta
do?
pray. It's
I
time to
gotta
get
pray.
down on
And
my
it
knees.
worked.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And you're like putting time aside. It's like, all right, if I exercise, it'll boost my mood up, and then I'll study, but it'll put my mood down, and then I pray, and then I'll put my mood up. I could do another study session, and then I can go to bed. So
That's
hilarious.
hilarious.
It just becomes part of your daily routine.
And
Yeah, it was really cool.
do you have more thoughts on the prayer?
No, I just want to give my like applause to finding a clever, respectful way of incorporating something like that,
Interesting.
and making it like not the point of the game, or like not the hitting you on the head kind of thing. Like you don't have to do it, right? Either. But I thought that it was a very neat inclusion, and like if it was a big part of Jenny's life at that time, then that's really cool that she was able to incorporate that in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was gonna kind of say, like, I think a lot of this is probably, it's gonna sound like I'm starting preachy, but it's not meant to. I was gonna say, I think a lot of like the portrayal of obviously religion and things like that in maybe media, but video games and things like that is generally more along the lines of people dealing with negative experiences. A game like, I think it was called Indica, possibly.
Oh yeah.
Came out maybe a couple of years ago, and that was very much about dealing with like religious guilt, I think. But like, I think you played as like a nun in a Catholic church or something to that extent. I don't know if the religion was actually ever specified. I watched some videos on it, but I never actually played it. But the point is, I think it was a lot more focused on the sort of negative side of what can happen with devout belief and, dogmatic followings and things like that. So I'm actually curious, bringing it back to Consume Me. Obviously, it sounds like you said it's a fun, interesting, and positive part of the game. Does the game deal with any of the negative side of religion or just I guess things like that, religious guilt, that kind of theme?
Not really. Like
Okay.
now that I'm thinking about it, there was slight spoilers at the beginning. Welcome back from spoilers. This is like the first hour.
Welcome back from spoilers. We're going back into spoilers for a second.
Just for 1 second.
Yeah.
It like hinted at it at the beginning.
Okay.
Which didn't take me left side, because in my upbringing, I'm like, this is just a part of life.
That's kind of what. Yeah.
And I'm sure you do too. Sometimes you visit your friend's house and they pray, they say grace before eating. This is just a thing that happens with some folks. So
yeah.
When it brought it back around, I thought that was really interesting. In terms of negative, I mean, I would think some religious folks would think it was not a great portrayal.
Sure, yeah,
Jesus.
I guess that's a good point. Some people might get offended by it.
Yeah, they kind of made it like a little funny joke, in a positive way, but not in like the guilt part of it. Like yeah, no story spoilers, but I don't think they go too deep into it.
Okay,
farther than that.
Well, honestly, I like what you said about, like, it is a mechanic that's introduced. It sounds like obviously they introduce it, and you have to sort of tutorialize it so people know what's happening. But beyond that, like you said, you don't have to do it. You don't have to pray if you don't want to. And um, I almost wonder, how does that affect the end game, alternate endings, possibly things like
Hmm.
that. Like you said, it gets hard, and you needed to do it, right? So
Yeah, yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
yeah, I didn't have to. I just knew that I had the option. And I won't say it doesn't come back around.
sure,
But story
okay,
spoilers,
okay,
of course.
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, like, what do you think? Overall, if you can even go into this without completely spoiling everything, this sounds like a fairly personal game for Jenny. Obviously, semi autobiographical, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
do you think there's a sort of overall message that you can say without spoiling everything that they were trying to get
Ooh.
across?
Hmm. I think if my takeaway, and this is my takeaway is
Yeah, let's
that,
let's go
like,
with your interpretation rather than
yeah,
necessarily what you think they may have been trying to get
I
across.
think and this is what I love about games, is like it blends gameplay because
Hmm.
I got a certain ending, so I got a certain message. The way I played got me to that ending. I think the message this game is saying is just like there's no right way to
Mm.
live. There's no right way to go through life. You are a consequence, not the word. You are a product of your own choices, right? Like everything you do will lead to a certain outcome. So like what is the best way you can do it? And at the same time, like life throws you like side balls and all that all the time. But and how do you get around that? Um so I think that's my interpretation of the game. Um I just think it's a commentary on like life doesn't always go as planned. But this is life, and try to find the fun things along the way, like picking up your dog's poop and counting your calories, and or letting loose and not caring about that. Like it's
Hmm.
okay to do that as well. Um yeah,
All right.
I
Well,
really liked it. I
yeah,
really liked the game.
clip it. There's your social clip for the week,
Mhm, mhm.
talking about what the game is about and how it touched you in ways. So,
Yeah.
um, is there anything else you want to say about sort of the overall story and everything?
um it's hard because there's so many bits
Yeah.
of the story that did like touch me in certain ways. But I don't want to get into it
Hmm.
because I want you to have that experience. I want our listener to have that
Hmm.
experience
Hmm.
because I do think this game should be played by anybody who can and anybody who's willing. It's a
Right.
short game, 5.5 hours, three
Hmm.
nights. I beat it. It's not a hard game either. I didn't really touch on that. I did say that difficulty does kind of spike near the end, but at the same time, it was all in theme of the game. It is forgiving. It will let you finish or get an ending. It's also very self-aware. It's like kind of like I
Mm.
said, like Scott Pilgrim, like it knows it's
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
video game.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so it kind of does stuff like that too. The writing's really good in that sense. Um, and
How
yeah, I
does
just
I was just gonna say, how does the art style and I mean, I don't think you mentioned the music or anything like that. Does it all kind of
ooh
play into one another, work together?
yeah, with art style, as you saw, it was like this kind of cartoony comic book looking style. Um, if I can say, it's kind of like the like SpongeBob, like people's proportions go all funny and
Right.
all that. Um, but the but so that really works for me. Like
Hmm.
it taking itself not too seriously, and the art styles change suddenly throughout the game. There's like bugs and stuff that look realistic sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, I
uh,
saw some of the cockroaches in the trailer there.
yeah, yeah. I thought that was really, the art style really worked for me. The
Okay.
music is pretty good as well. It's definitely like not anything crazy, but it did have like a fun, charming, lighthearted
Okay.
atmosphere to it. I do think the music was pretty consistent throughout, though. I don't think it like
Okay.
changed too much.
Well, you
Um,
did talk about music in the one section that I think was in the
oh
spoiler
yeah, that
section that
was the
we.
highlight.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I like that was like this game doesn't have voice acting, but
Fair.
that part
Oh,
of the
okay.
game had like full on like
Right.
lyrics, which was very
Orchestral.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backing to it. That's funny. Um, So I mean, obviously everything you've. I'm just kind of thinking like everything you've talked about, very, in a lot of ways, light game dealing with some heavier themes and things like that.
Good way of putting it. Yeah.
Does it have, or did it make you feel any, I don't know, tension, discomfort at times, beyond just like, okay, I got to manage all these resources, things like that.
Mm.
Even
Hmm.
like, well, I mean, you already talked a lot about nostalgia. I think it clearly hits you in the nostalgia feels. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Let's see, discomfort or tension. There was, I would say, there was one part. Slight spoilers. That did
okay,
fill me with tension.
okay.
I don't think
You
it's
don't.
too.
If you want to say it, you can. You don't have to. It's up to you.
It's a part where it's the part where you're trying to manage your relationships.
Oh,
There's
okay,
many parts, many relationships in the game. You have many friends, partners like throughout the game, and there's one part that actually got like kind of stressful
okay.
because there was a like the resources you were given. If you weren't careful with it, you would not be able to succeed. So there was a lot of planning ahead. That being said, it does wrap up kind of nicely. So yeah,
Interesting.
I
I'm
would
tr-
say the biggest joy I got was that scene we talked about earlier with the
yeah, yeah. Okay. With
uh
JC.
yeah, with JC.
Gotcha.
With in terms of discomfort, I don't know. I think the like I think the beginning of the game where because I didn't know too much about the game. I knew it
Hmm.
was about body image and something, but just the way like your first interaction is with your mom, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure I had the exact conversations with my mom at the very beginning. This was in the trailer, but she's in the
Yeah,
trailer.
I
She
saw that.
says "你太懒惰了," which is you are too lazy. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
no, I was there, man. I was
That's
right
funny.
there. Pardon my Mandarin. I don't speak Mandarin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I read it in Cantonese, if that makes sense.
As
um,
an English only speaker, it makes absolutely no sense, but that's okay. I'll
yeah,
let you
yeah.
guess.
And you let me know if you've been called lazy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, who hasn't, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Honestly, it sounds like very relatable, but like I say, very personal to Jenny, and I forget, you said there was another person that
Jenny
co-developed
and
it.
AP Thompson.
AP
The
Thompson,
credits of the game, there was like a huge credits board, but
of
on
course.
our press kit that we got, it says it is developed by mainly a partnership between Jenny and AP. So shout out to them.
Well, yeah, it sounds like, again, like it's kind of a weird dichotomy of a very personal story to her or them, but also very relatable to most people who, like you say, grew up in that similar kind of time frame, um, and
Mm-hmm.
around our age,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, going
Or
through life.
even, yeah, or even like, I wonder if this would work for different generations of people.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure. I mean, that's why movies like, I don't know, Breakfast Club and stuff are timeless, because everyone knows the feeling of being a bully, but also being bullied, but also, wanting to be the cool kid and all those kind of things, right? So
are you saying this is the Breakfast Club of video games?
maybe, maybe
This could be the Breakfast Club of video games.
also described as WarioWare, but
Yeah, I love WarioWare, so
mm,
that part worked for me.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, you haven't said anything, and not that it needs to be said, but you haven't really said much negative. Do you have any criticism about the game? Is there anything you might change if
Mm,
we're given the opportunity?
maybe like two small things, like really small, really
Okay.
small. Um, I would almost want the I would almost want some of the mini games, little more variety.
Hmm.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe they do
Spice it
introduce
up.
some variety in between it, but like, yeah, like I do end up, for example, the dog walking.
Hmm.
You are walking the dog the same path the entire game. It's
Okay.
like I said,
Give us
15
different
seconds long.
paths. Yeah.
Yeah, give us different paths, change up the backgrounds, kind of thing. The other thing is, and honestly, thinking about it now, maybe it is intentional, but the exercising mini game, the controls get janky some of the times. But
Oh,
sometimes when
interesting.
you do aerobics, it is a little
Hmm.
tricky to hit the poses.
Right. Right.
Um, And the other thing is your free time chooser.
Mhm.
The menu system is, I don't know if it's because I was playing a beta or something, but there's like your right stick flips the big menu, which is the section of the room where you choose your activity,
Okay.
and the left stick chooses the activity within the room.
Okay.
And then it always trips me out, like having to use two thumbsticks to
Right.
navigate like this menu that's one line.
Right. Right.
Extremely minor
Interesting.
gripes.
And that's the kind of thing that you do wonder, was this a deliberate decision to make this more interactive, more interesting than just, hey, flip a page, choose two options or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
that's an
mm-hmm,
interesting one.
mm-hmm. Is it commentary on
Yeah, exactly.
looking around your room and you're like, oh man, I could do this.
Yeah,
Like, how do I select it? What do I
totally.
feel like? Yeah. But overall, yeah, I would say the gameplay loop of managing your own resources, your clothes affecting, your
Hmm.
food affecting like what you can
Hmm.
do in a day worked really well for me because it's just like real life. Like you are
Awesome.
what you eat. I like to wear athleisure because I like to move
Hmm.
around a
Hmm.
lot. Um, and then yeah, I gotta watch my bites day to day. Had fried chicken tonight. Probably went over my bite limit.
Fried
That's
chicken
for
and
sure.
beer for dinner. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. So do you think you're gonna chase multiple endings? Are you gonna replay it or
I think I'll try it one more time.
see if you
I'll
can
need
get
to,
something else?
yeah, I'll need to double check because if there's like a chapter picker, maybe I can
Oh,
just
right.
like pick the
Jump to the
chapter,
end.
swing one way that's really crazy, and then try and then yeah, see it that way. Oh,
Mhm.
one more gripe, if I
Oh, yeah.
may
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back.
of course, sorry.
Um, once again, I don't know if this is a beta thing,
Mhm.
but when you play the game again and you just click start, it actually starts you from the beginning of the game instead of from your save. So the first
Okay.
time I like restarted, I like
Oh,
went from the beginning. I was like,
you're like,
did
"Did
I
it
not
not save
save?
my progress?" Yeah.
And I backed out and I'm like, oh, I have to load my save, right?
I gotcha. I gotcha.
So something like that. Very Fallout RPG, I guess. Or what's that other game
Outer
that was
Worlds?
like Outer Worlds,
Are you
Skyrim,
you talking similar
Oblivion,
to Fallout
Oblivion.
or Oh, I see, I see.
Like where you can
Yeah,
save
yeah.
scum over and
Yeah,
over
yeah,
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Quick save, quick
Um,
save, quick save. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll give it one more shot. I love to
Okay.
watch somebody else play it and see
Cool.
like the choices they make and see if that got them a different ending.
Mhm.
There were some points where yeah, I couldn't do everything in a day, and then I had to fail some stuff. So I wonder if that got me certain things. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend this game to anybody to because I want to watch you play it. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. What do
Mhm.
you is there anything you would like to say before I throw sort of a closing question at you that I think would be a nice way to finish off this conversation about Consume Me?
I'll make a message directly to Jenny, if I
Nice.
may.
Go ahead.
Jenny, this game rocks. I am very touched by the piece of art you made. I remember reading somewhere that took like 10 years to put this together. I think that this game is going to stick with me for a long time. This is a game that I genuinely enjoyed from beginning to end. And yeah, congratulations on launching your autobiography on some parts of your life and I guess my life that I don't think gets talked about and I think doesn't get represented in media of any kind, especially in like a positive, fun, interactive way in video games, right? So congratulations to you, Jenny.
Very
Applause.
nice. Very nice. I made sure not to burp or cough or snort while you were saying that because
Yeah,
that's
you
a
can
very,
applaud.
very nice
Yeah,
message for Jenny. Yeah. Ah! There you go. There you go.
there we go.
I
Soundboard.
I almost feel like that's a perfect way to end this conversation. But in case there's, I mean, that was directly to Jenny. Throw one to the audience. What's the single biggest reason someone should try Consume Me?
Okay, good question. I think, audience, if you're listening, you should try Consume Me because it is a game that is like rare in the sense that nobody ever
Mm.
talks about this phase in life.
Mhm.
And I say that very broadly. Nobody ever talks about the Asian American / Canadian experience of being pressured to do well in school, to look good, to have relationships, to what did I say? This is do well academically, get a good
Mhm.
job. That journey, sure, is reflected in movies and TV shows, but never in a game, and never
Mhm.
in a game like this where it's fun, and it goes places that I think a lot of games don't. A
Mhm.
lot of media don't. Um, I think it's also very accessible. Like I know a lot of folks. I'm thinking about like my coworkers or my friends who I went to school with. They don't like video games because it is too hard for them, which is no fault. Like not everybody grew up playing games, so they prefer to watch TV. I think this game is accessible enough
Mm.
in that it's something they would enjoy, and it's light and it's short. So if
Mhm.
you are looking to experience the Asian American experience of being a young adult or late adolescence, young adult, play Consume Me because I think it hits all the right notes.
Very nice. Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I think that about wraps it up. I don't nothing else jumps out at me.
No problem. Jordan, did I convince you? Do you want to play this game?
I mean, I'll be honest. I love everything I'm hearing, and this is a podcast I would listen to understand the game and what it's all about without having to play it. I personally would rather watch someone
Okay.
play
Yeah.
through it, like you said. So I'd happily watch, a stream of it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in a lot of ways, I'm very intrigued. That's for sure. It sounds like, again, a very relatable experience just across the board, which is not something that I think always comes across in games. I mean, so many games are power fantasy, right? And this very much is
Yeah.
not that. So
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see and hear what other people, in the industry and
Mm-hmm.
everything think as
Yeah.
well.
Me too. Like I want to see if people agree with me. Like maybe an actual female identifying Asian
Yeah, for sure.
American / Canadian plays it and they're like, nah, this is not my life at all. And I'd be like,
Go.
oh, well, guess it was just me. so
two,
so I'm
two
curious
out
if
of
you get
10,
that as well.
unrelatable.
Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair because I think this game also really worked for me because it is such a Samson game where it's about your brain as much as like forward planning. Like I
Mhm.
said earlier, it's a card game and I love stuff like
Yeah,
that.
true.
Just moving icons here and there. Whereas a lot of folks are better, like you are better at playing Silk Song and Ghost of Yote and Tsushima and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I like playing Silk Song. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just not good at these games,
I
and that's
never
why I don't gravitate towards like Souls likes and stuff.
I never claimed to be good at Silk Song. I have spent 25 hours and just got to the Act 1 boss. So, but
Nice.
regardless, different strokes for different folks, as they say,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, listener, are you going to try Consume Me? Are you going to be consumed by Jenny's story? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for listening to my review of Consume Me. Shout out to Pop Agenda for providing the code. Shout out to and congrats to Jenny and AP Thompson at Hexecutable. For launching the game. It's available on Steam. I hope it comes to more consoles and Switch and all that, so more folks can play it. But yeah, go pick it up. It released today, I believe, September 25th,
Fourth.
4th.
Fourth.
Let me also double check
Or
that.
at least the embargo is up September 24th at 9 a.m., I believe.
It launches September 25th, tomorrow,
There you
as
go.
you're listening to this. So check it out. It's very, very fun. I had a great time playing it. A 10 out of 10 for me, an all-timer for me. I will,
That's awesome.
if there's a Jenny plushie, it's going to my cart right away.
I hope there's one of her Pomeranian and not her. I'm just going to throw it out there. The human being plushie, a little weird, but the dog plushie, that's okay.
I guess if it's a human being plushie based on a real person, that's
Yes.
it's a little silly.
Exactly.
Jordan, where can people follow you if they want to keep up?
You can follow me on all socials at Sir Dr. JM. That's at Sir DRJM, especially on Instagram, and of course on the PlayStation Network.
Amazing. And you can follow me, Samson, aka Samson XP, on all the socials as well. Instagram mostly, and Blue Sky as well. I'm trying to post more on there, but to be honest, not too many things to post about these days, except for this podcast at Grow Up Level Up on
That's
all the
right.
socials as well. Follow us to make sure you get notified on the latest episodes, what we're yapping about, what we're covering next, because times are changing next week, next episode. Details to come, so make sure you follow us there. But thank you so much for listening to this episode of Grow Up Level Up Sunset Selects, where we talk about the games, TV shows, movies, and whatnot that you should be enjoying in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5, or in this case, consume me. Took me about 3 5 to 9s and maybe a 7 to 8 a.m. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. So it's very manageable. That's all I'm saying. Jordan, do you have any wise words to close out our episode?
My wise words are going to be very, very in theme with this episode, and they will simply be consume me.